Okay, guys, I'm super excited to share my brand new homeschool product with you. It's the newest addition to the printable library by Sunny Day Family, and it is the Looking Back Homeschool Planner and Journal. Now, this is a planner that is a little bit different from any other homeschool planners that you've seen. I actually have a more traditional homeschool planner in the shop as well, if that's something you're interested in. And this can replace your regular homeschool planner, or you can use it as an additional resource in helping you manage your homeschool. So what this is the reason why it's called the Looking Back Homeschool Planner and Journal is because this planner is specially designed for reverse planning. And if you've never heard of reverse planning, it's a really cool idea. What it is the idea that you want to document what you actually did in your homeschool as opposed to planning each day of what's going to happen in your homeschool. Now, what I mean by that, we all get into the thing where we plan out a week in advance, a month in advance. Lord knows I've planned long time in advance and ended up erasing, changing because something just doesn't go right. I've planned too much. I've planned something that didn't really work and we've stopped, or in a good way, we've gone down a rabbit hole trail and really gotten into a subject and have kind of moved and shifted things. So I discovered that kind of long-term planning on a daily or even weekly basis just didn't work for us. So what I've done is my curricula that I choose is kind of more in a list to do format, and I'll go through and show you how I marry this with my curriculum binder, I call it, to sort of have a structure and a plan, but not actually put it into my planner. And instead I use this planner and journal as a part of a reverse planner. So let me show you what this actually looks like. This is the digital version of this planner, so you can get this. It's a digital download, a PDF file, which you can just hit print, and it'll print out an entire year's worth of a planner, 36 academic weeks. You can also find a pre-printed version, or you can print it yourself. You can send it off to being printed. I will tell you that it is color, so if you choose to print it in color, and you're not printing at home with your own printer, binding machine, or putting it in a 3-ring binder, it is definitely less expensive if you just go ahead and order the pre-printed version. So that's just something to keep in mind as you are planning out. However, if you have multiple children, it may be less expensive for you if you want to use one for each child. It's just completely up to you. So inside there's just a little few notes about how to use this planner. We're going to go over that. A place for you to mark who this planner belongs to, and some people I know may want to use one for different, if you have multiple children who are on different levels, you may want to use one for each child. I have twins, so they stay pretty close together in most subjects, so I really just use one for our whole family. Now, the heart of the week is what you will find here in the weekly spread. It's a 2-day spread. On the left-hand side, you'll see the days of the week, and I did include nice blocks for Saturday and Sunday because I know a lot of homeschool families choose to do work, projects, things on those days. So I want to be able to record those things, even if they're not your typical homeschool curriculum activities. You may do a field trip or an outing or something that you want to record on the weekend. So that is all laid out here as well. Along the top, you will find subjects, lessons, books, resources, activities, projects, field trips, and extras. Now, what the plan here is that you, as you go through your day of your homeschool, you're going to write down the things that you actually do. So on Monday, we may cover math, language arts, and science and music. So I'll just write those subjects down. Under lessons, you can write down if you have a numbered lesson in your curricula. I know a lot of math curriculum, for example, will have just lessons 1 through 150. So you could put math lesson 10 or language arts lesson 3, or if you're using more of like an all-encompassing curriculum, Torchlight week 4, day 2, whatever you want to do. Books, you can list the books that you've read, readers, read alouds, picture books. You could put a chapter here, whatever books were read during your day. Resources is a place for all those other things, games that you may have played, videos, documentaries, podcasts, anything else that you used in your homeschool day. Activities and projects is where you want to put down your science labs, map work you did with your history or geography, writing projects, crafts, anything that you did hands-on you want to put here. Field trips, hopefully we're all going on a lot more field trips, so I put that here. And then extras is a good place just to put all those things that we do that, you know, don't have kind of a nice box, but maybe out school classes, other kinds of extracurricular classes, things like that. You also want to notice I did not date this planner because our homeschool schedules are all very different. You may school year round and take breaks. You may school in a traditional school year. You may take a month off here and there. So you just write in the week that you're doing. That way you're not wasting pre-printed weeks that you're not actually using. So you just pick the week you're working and go from there. Then on the next page is sort of your week in review in more detailed form. So this is where you kind of look at the things that happened during your week and talk about what worked, what didn't work, favorite moments. I like to use these boxes as almost notes. So as something we're going through the day and my kids are really into a project, I'll just quickly jot down that under what worked. Or we got really frustrated with a math lesson, I might write that down and say, you know what, that didn't really work. And kind of note those. And then toward the end of the week, I fill out the thoughts and reflections as more of my feelings on how the week went, what worked, what didn't work, but more in general. I also include this box of things to revisit. This is a great space for things that maybe you need to go back over, a concept that didn't stick, you want to make a note there, or say your kids were really interested in a certain topic and you want to explore that further, so you just make a note here and you can always kind of flip through that box as you're planning ahead in the future and see what kinds of things to revisit that you haven't gotten to yet. So that's the way you sort of review your week. Then the last sort of section for each week, there's a daily snapshot. Now there is not a daily snapshot for every day. This is actually a concept that I got from Julie Bogart, Brave Learner. She's amazing. If you haven't read her books or followed any of her materials, it's very helpful in your kind of your homeschool overall structure, giving you some ideas and inspiration. So she recommends a daily snapshot, and I put one in for each week. And the idea here is that you choose one day a week and just really in depth write in whatever format you like. You can do, you know, a narrative, you can just make notes, you can do drawings, doodles, whatever. The other thing I like to do personally is I choose the date ahead of time. So this week we're going to do Tuesday. It's going to be daily snapshot day. And that way, no matter what happens on Tuesday, good, bad, ugly, I'm going to write it down. When I first started trying to do this at the beginning of the year, I found that I was always inspired to write about our day on good days. And of course, that kind of doesn't give a full picture. So I try now to sort of pick a day ahead of time. And then on the evening of that day, I go through and write the daily snapshot. So that's really the gist of each week's plans. And of course, as I said, there's a whole school year's worth. So you just start after you do your daily snapshot, you start back the following week again. And there's 36 lessons, or 36 weeks, excuse me. So you're getting a full academic year in each planner. And of course, if you buy the digital version, you can print out as many weeks as you want, but it's all set so that you can just hit print once and get over 200 pages of planner pages right at your fingertips. And it's a really great way to kind of keep control of your homeschool when you have kind of an eclectic mix of things and you like to move around different places. You know, you don't want to stick to an exact plan, but you really do want to document what you're doing. This is a lifesaver if you have to do portfolios, because it's basically all right there. You know, I was finding that I kept rearranging my planner book because I wanted to keep a track of what we were doing for future portfolio use. So kind of having a dedicated portfolio book that I could then go through and pick out different subjects and lessons and show the progress was really helpful. So I will show you in another video how I use this in conjunction with our actual curriculum. So how I go through and plan what we're going to do without actually using a planner, and then use this as our record keeping. So keep an eye out for that, and I will put a link to the store at the bottom of this video, and let me know what you think.